Hello, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Health and Beauty Hacks. I'm your host, Mia Sines. And in this episode, I'm going to introduce you to literally one of my favorite people, and you'll hear why. Her name is Lori Hart. She's an anti-aging expert, and that's not why I adore her. I mean, it is partly, but she doesn't, I don't know if she knows this or she's ready for this, but this is the woman that first started connecting me to people when I told her I had breast cancer. And for that, she, besides being such a great friend before, she will always be one of the most important people to me. So I'm so excited to introduce you to, as I can't talk anymore, introduce you to Lori Hart. Welcome, Lori.
I'm so blessed and touched to have made such an impact in your life. And beauty without harm is where I live and where I very passionate about, because I had a medical mishap happen to me over 40 years ago where I've left with a debilitating condition. And so my passion is to help people love themselves, love their life, and love the person looking back at themselves in the mirror when they see themselves
Yeah, I love that.
without hurting themselves.
Yeah.
Really, beauty without harm is my whole, I was brought to earth to really spread that word.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you've so she's a we'll call her the esthetician to the stars, meaning she's like this galaxy amazing woman that has reached very many levels all over the world, including Hollywood and more. And so regarding the face, she's like the go-to person. She is also the queen of machines, and she's going to share a few anti-aging stuff with us, but there's some really, I wanted her to talk about two other products that are very, they help us heal our body and identify diseases, and it's very important. So we're going to talk about that after we talk about some of these amazing products that she has. Would you like to share with us? There's so much that you talk about. You talk about 5 habits that would decrease wrinkles and aging, right? You have all these home remedies. And of course, everything we know, as we've been talking about on this show and after this on the episodes that you'll hear, is about self-love, being a part of your routine of who you are. And I love that when you talk publicly, you always bring, when you're on the stage talking, you always bring self-love into it. So would you
Well, the pandemic, the one good thing that it's brought to people's mindset and awareness is, for the first time in their life, including mine, is that we have now time, because we're not on that hamster wheel of doing everything. And then at the end, oh yeah, maybe there's time for me. And so because we have more time, self-care is a much more, I say people are much more open to hearing about it, probably for the first time. And they say you teach what you need to learn. So I'm a rescuer and I love helping people. And the last person I ever took care of was me. So, I talk from experience. It's like I almost never look in the mirror. I brush my teeth, I wash my face, and then people come in and they'll say, "How come it's so dark in here?" It's like, get away from that mirror, just, know you look good, feel good in your skin, love the person looking back at you, and then get away from the mirror. Because
Right.
most of the time what you see is a reflection of bad lighting. The lines that you see in your bathroom are not your real lines. That's overhead light. So if you look at yourself and you have lights above you, you're creating shadows and things. And I tell people, someone will come in and, we did it too, so it's not a surprise. But when we were in our 20s and 30s, we were talking about anti-aging. And I did Botox and I did fillers, so I'm not a hypocrite. I was the same as everybody else. But after I got botched having surgery, I had a different mindset. And then I realized that and I hate to put down any careers, but most doctors and plastic surgeons and dermatologists do not know about ingredients. They don't. They recommend things that are toxic. Most estheticians do not know what's good or safe. Did you know that if you have microdermabrasion done to your skin, one, it's going to separate your skin from the fascia, and so your face will sag. Also, they're using aluminum oxide, which is toxic. Aluminum causes Alzheimer's. So here you're doing a beauty treatment thinking that you're getting a good exfoliation, and it's aging you.
And I did know that because you told me.
You know, and then people are obsessed with new technology, but they're not learning, okay, what's good, what works, what's the long-term risk, what's the short-term, what's the downtime, what's the downsize, what's the risk, and what happens over time. So some of the procedures that a lot of celebrities are promoting will actually burn your face and your face will collapse. I have a friend who just had a full body, everything. She needed nothing. She's beautiful. It broke my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's all
It
little voices in her head.
Yeah. And for those of us who do remove the voices in our head and still would like a little support, you got some good stuff you showed me earlier. Can we see it? Look at me, I'm trying to look at your desk.
So I use this, which is ultrasonic microdermabrasion. What I love about this, it uses ultrasound to clean your skin, exfoliate gently. It gets rid of blackheads. It gets rid of all the cruds because we love to pick our faces and then we scar it. You go to an esthetician and she picks your zits, pretty much she's going to scar you or spread the bacteria and create other problems.
Can I share something about that?
Yeah.
So I would go to Lori pretty regularly, and I moved away from LA up to this beautiful island in Washington, and I started to notice that my pores were getting full. And sometimes I could see stuff coming out, which is, maybe a little TMI, but I said to myself, uh-oh, when I see Lori, I'm going to get in trouble. And so I pulled out the machine that she has and I started using it. It was beautiful. It vibrates it out gently and then you just remove it. I just wipe it off with rubbing alcohol and go at it again. Wipe it off on a Kleenex. It was really amazing. So I love that product right there.
And it's amazing.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's a
it's an ultrasonic microdermabrasion. The other positive thing about it is that it lifts your face while you're washing your face.
Beautiful.
So it's like doing a facelift while you're washing your face.
That's beautiful, yeah. Lovely.
Another thing that I do that's really important is a home microcurrent machine. This is my favorite one. You hook it up to gloves.
Oh, yeah.
So you can put your hands and then actually just do lifting.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not trying to make anybody narcissistic, but I'm trying to keep you away from people that are going to hurt you.
Right.
And unfortunately, you go to a consultation feeling, okay, I want to talk about something. I know once I had a plastic surgeon try to talk me into a breast enhancement and a nose job. Now, I don't have a perfect nose, but I don't have a terrible nose.
No,
I certainly didn't need a nose job.
Yeah.
But remember, that's how they make their living.
That's right.
The other thing that we can do, and you can get these cups, you've seen cupping at the doctors, these little cups, you put cream on and you create suction and and the lymph is one of the most important things for clearing the lymph, getting rid of the toxins. And as we get older, our body slows down. And most of us become, especially now during the pandemic, more sedentary. So we're not moving our bodies. So doing regular lymph treatments, getting the stuff out of your body is helpful.
Okay.
And then, so this tones the face. And the body is electrical. So if you ever watch those medical programs and you see those boxes where you have the line that goes up, beep, 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 that's showing you that the electrical system in your body is working. And when the person dies, it goes beep, and they flatlined. That shows you that you've lost the electricity in your body. Microcurrent is one of the most superior technologies for our health and wellness. And this is where the Healy comes in, my newest favorite. It uses over 144,000 frequencies. It will actually scan your body and tell you what frequencies you need. And then works with an app on your phone. And then if you can see, it's scanning those frequencies
Oh, yeah.
to the information field outside the body, the physical body, and the emotional field. So I'm sleeping for the first time in my life, like the house could blow up. You know. Sleeping and pain from injuries. You get to be a certain age. A woman reported that she was wearing hearing aids for 5 years, and after using the Healy, her hearing has improved 35%.
Wow.
Now, I just watched a webinar on how Healy is healing animals, horses and dogs and cats. I mean, where I saw significant wounds on these animals by just sending them frequencies to their information field. Look, everything is energy.
Right, right.
We want to include healthy energy and get rid of the bad.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you also have, and Healy's amazing because you said that it can also be upgraded and by certain people or by one person that you know.
So there, it comes in 4 different levels. You can start at the basic level where you get a lot of, that's where I started. And then there are 4 different levels that you can get where it actually does the scanning. But I have a woman in England who's just divine. You call her up, you do a Zoom session, she takes a picture of you. She has the big professional machine that's like $20,000. It scans your body specifically. And then she creates a program that the major big mother machine picks up. It picked up my Hashimoto's, it picked up my thyroid, it picked up my stomach, it picked up my intestines, it picked up all the different, I said one day, Ridge, my stomach is bothering, what's going on? She said, it's your diaphragm. And that was exactly it. It felt like the food was stuck in my diaphragm and not digesting. So what happened to me is I was a makeup artist for the movies and Playboy magazine. And I was a short, fat, dumpy Jewish girl from New York, very insecure, you know. And I'm looking at all these beautiful naked bodies. And I had a father who was gorgeous. He looked like Tom Jones, and a mother looked like a movie star. And here I look like
You're beautiful. That was your perception.
No, I wasn't. I could show you pictures. I've had to work on it. I wasn't. And my sister had perfect teeth. I had braces till I was 22. I'm telling you, I was the brains and the geek. Okay, I've had my teeth done a couple times. So I went for liposuction, and unfortunately I got botched. And now my body doesn't digest. So my body doesn't digest food. So I'm really counting that these devices are gonna, if not cure me, they're going to get my body functioning much better. But
you've had a lot of results over the last year.
Tremendous.
You've been able to get the Healy and
tremendous results in so many ways. But when you have nerve damage, it's just going to take more time. It's just going to take more time. And I'm really convinced that these devices will help because, you know, when I went to a doctor at Cedars-Sinai and St. John's, they said to me, well, you could take this medication and it causes Parkinson's tremors and facial paralysis and sticking your tongue out uncontrollably and blinking nonstop and you know. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, how can I? He goes, well, it may, you know. So, and if you watch TV and you see all these side effects from all the medications, if you even get the active ingredients, and even people are spending so much money on skincare, and I say, skincare gets in deep enough to mess with your neurotoxins and endocrine system, but not really deep enough to get the actives to work. Mm-hmm. So just because something's organic doesn't mean it's going to work either. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why I like some of these devices. This will penetrate your products. This will penetrate your products. So, you know, there are things that you can do at home. And most people and most estheticians don't want you to know because they're afraid that you won't go to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I just want you to know. You can then choose who you want to go to.
Right, exactly. You know, you were talking about nerve damage, and for the first time since 2009, I don't have nerve damage in my left breast because I've been working on it, but I didn't start working on it until the breast cancer on the right side happened. But it's so interesting. Fortunately for me, I had struggled with it for over 10 years. And now I don't have it, which is remarkable. So I love
awareness. You know, first thing is awareness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I love the fact that we can reverse a lot of stuff that we lived with because, well, that's what happened when X, Y, and Z happened. So we don't have to accept this stuff. We can move through it. We can look at it. Like you said, the awareness is the first thing. And
And
then,
then willingness.
yeah,
Some people don't want to get well.
right.
You know, I have an uncle in New York. I love him madly. And he can't breathe and he's got pneumonia and all kinds of stuff. He's got the Healy sitting by his bed. I can't teach him how to use it.
Mhm.
You have to have the willingness to be well. Some people like to stay sick.
It's their saboteur, definitely, right?
And I know
But,
he wants to get well,
mhm,
but
yeah. We've talked a lot about on these shows subsequent to when this one airs about emotions affecting our healing. And so when somebody doesn't, and this is for anybody who I feel like somebody's going to catch this message, when you don't have that support from yourself, then you're not going to see yourself in that kind of light. So deal with that emotional space. It goes back to your childhood, and get through that, and you're going to be fine. But be aware that it stops us. If you want to have a healing of some kind that you're dealing with, look at it, declare it, and then look into how to heal it.
and some of it's from our imprints from before we were born, and some of it's from our imprints from our ancestry, and some of it is from our childhood, and some we're aware of them, and sometimes we're not.
Mhm.
And just be open to the possibility that there are things that we don't know, and just make yourself a priority and choose you. You know, women always help other people. We're just natural rescuers and caretakers. And I am one of those too. But it's taken me a lifetime to say, hey, what about me? What about me?
Yeah.
And I still have to remind myself and to say no. And no is a complete sentence. We always feel that we have to justify why we can't do something or won't, and then feel guilty when it's for our highest good. And so for me, somebody recently said, is this in my best interest? Because and muscle testing too will help.
Yeah.
Is this in my best interest? Because sometimes the mind will take over and not tell you the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. So show us some other yummy stuff there.
So here's a new face machine that I love. So one of the reasons that we age is because of the fascia. So think of a chicken and that yellow membrane. And it's the toxins that separate the skin from the connective tissue and the muscles. So this is a device that creates, I'm just a clean freak. And everything, if you watch, even just watch this side of my face lift as I wash it. Now I would put a cleanser on. And what's nice about this device, it stops after 30 seconds and then you switch to the next. But even just look at the difference. Look at the circulation.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's huge. Do the other side too.
And it's fast and easy so that we make self-care a ritual and we make self-care fun. You hear that sound?
Yeah.
Look at the difference in the color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the other thing is,
Amazing.
when you're putting on your skincare and your makeup,
Mm-hmm.
are you pulling your eyes like this to put on your eyeliner?
Mm.
The eyes have no oil glands. Are you putting eyeliner on your eyes every day and doing this? You're actually creating little microscopic tears.
Oh, wow. Because we can't put on our eyeliner really without pulling our skin, as we get older at least.
Right. And did
So,
you know that eyeliner makes your eyes look smaller, not bigger? So
yeah.
when you think of the Italian art of chiaroscuro, it's the study of light and how light hits the face. So when a woman goes to a department store and she sold an eyeshadow for highlighter and a contour color and then, corner color, do you know that if you put the same color all over your eye, this is going to look lighter anyway?
Mm.
because the light hits that first. So most of the time we're taught to make our eyes smaller, not bigger. Because that smoky eye makes you just look like you got sucked in the face. We're not taught right.
Interesting. Yeah. Very, very interesting. So let's talk about, because you brought it up, we have no oil in our eyes. So what do you recommend for the regular woman who is always on the go but needs to use something? What type of a oil or cream? Let's give them a couple of ideas.
So creams don't moisturize.
Okay.
The most important thing for hydration is water. So if you are going to use a cream or oil, you want to spritz your face with hydration and then seal it with your cream. The skincare that I recommend is the only skincare line that I recommend is because it's electrically charged. So remember when I said skincare gets in deep enough to mess with your neurotoxins and endocrine, but not deep enough to get the actives? I have the only ionic skincare line in the world. So it hits, these are my criteria. Is it affordable? Does it work? Is it healthy? And is it easy? Because if it's too complicated, we'll do it for a while and then we won't. So I throw on my serum, my eye cream, my moisturizer, and then I add a little bit of water, go like this, and I put them all on at the same time. The eye cream has a certain amount of progesterone because we lose our elasticity at a certain time, so it's not just for the eyes. All these products are ionic, so they're electrically charged. So a 1 ounce bottle that has no, you go out and spend, some products cost $200-300 for one product. These products are so affordable, and instead of 1 ounce lasting 1 month, it probably lasts 4 or 5 because they all have to be diluted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I make it easy and fast and fun. To me, that's.
I love that line that you're talking about. Are you able to say it on air?
Yes, it's DNA.
Yeah.
DNA
Skin
Skincare
Lab,
from
right?
Dr. DNA. He's a holistic doctor. His products are just divine, and they work. And they're holistic, and they're organic, and they have the ionic charge. They're the only products. People are spending money on lines that are way more expensive. I mean, there's a doctor who promotes his peptides for $350. They don't have any of the things we talked about. These are less than 100. And instead of lasting 1 month, it lasts 4 to 5 months.
Yeah.
You're not using a lot, but they work. You know, and I'm offering everybody a complimentary consultation. So if anybody wants to talk to me about whatever they're using, you know, I'm certainly glad I'm here to help. So
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful. What
because
else would
people
you?
are talking to you about sales, because what's good for them. You know, I want to talk about you. I'm happy when you tell me that it's working for you. I get paid in different ways, you know.
Well, we do, and energetically and more. Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. So there are common treatments and products out there that backfire on us. Can we talk a little bit about that, since we talked about the good stuff? Let's talk a little bit about that so that people might hear or make a contact between it, that perhaps they might not be using the best product for themselves.
Well, most professional people, their way of getting beautiful skin. So think of when you've been in the sun and you've had a bad sunburn. So your skin gets burned, it gets completely dried out, and then you lose skin. We've all had that's where we're peeling, right? And then underneath that skin is that beautiful, radiant, pink baby skin, okay? Well, what do you think laser is doing? Most doctors and estheticians' way of accessing beautiful skin is by sanding, by thinning, by peeling, or burning. So you'll get layers of skin burned off. And yes, your skin will look beautiful until you damage it again. And if you look at old people, their skin is white and translucent and veiny, and most of them look like a polished apple. It's all that over exfoliating, over sanding, over peeling, over exfoliating, over laser. All those things thin your skin. Everything I recommend is to thicken your skin.
Right. You know, one of the things that, excuse me, that I really love about your products, or one of the things that I really love that I learned from you was we want to build our skin up with collagen and stuff. We don't want to strip it away because, as you taught me, as you're taking those layers from the microdermabrasion and all that stuff and lasers, you're
chemical
removing,
peels, and
you're
you can't
removing
control
your,
chemicals.
you're removing your skin, and so you're not going to have the. I remember you putting me on something to build the collagen in my skin. You know, let's be like, oh, I think it was the, I think it was actually that treatment that you do. But the point is that you
All
have
the treatments I do build collagen.
right.
Everything.
And so I remember you saying, think about being in your 20s and how luscious your skin was. So I'm like, I'm in. And it really does support that. So I wanted people.
And the number one treatment that builds collagen is the microcurrent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's why as we age, Lori and I are about 11 years apart, and she's 68 and looks fabulous. And so as we age, we want to produce amazing muscle tone and skin and everything else so that we do remain younger as we age. That's the beauty. That's literally the beauty. One of the fountain of youth.
Excellent. Tight skin, tight muscles.
Yeah.
You
So
can't really pull anything here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. So,
my body, not so much, but
but your face all the way. Beautiful. So your free gift, everybody, is a consultation. And I suggest
also feel free to, I sent you a bunch of handouts. So you feel free to email them to, to hand them out to people.
we'll figure out how to get it on the free gift stuff. But also, yeah, we'll figure that out. So you'll have a lot of stuff.
You have your own little cheat sheet. Is this good?
Yeah.
Doctors recommend Cetaphil. It's my number one pet peeve. Okay, Cetaphil is 8 ingredients. It's a cleanser. First ingredient's water. Who knows where the water comes from? The other 7 ingredients are all toxic. So, and unfortunately, we give so much weight to medical doctors because we think they went to school, they know. But just know that they don't always know. They're people too.
Yeah, just like nutrition. They only have 23.9 hours of nutrition out of the 8 hours of being, or out of the 8 years plus of being, a doctor in school. So it's not a lot. So chemicals, the same thing, they don't have that knowledge. And we're learning that the chemicals in products, especially paraben being one of them, one of the largest ones, is creating cancers, heart disease, all sorts of stuff as it flows through our body. So make sure you get off of that, get organic, non-toxic shampoos, everything. Check your stuff.
No sulfate, no mineral oil. So do you realize that when you're putting lipstick on your lips, you're putting gasoline and lead?
Created by that, yes.
So there are only 15, it's gone up. There's only 15 ingredients that the US have banned as far as ingredients. And in Europe, there's 1,500.
That's crazy.
So we're way behind the times.
Yeah. We're all about money here on this in this country, right? Well, that's amazing. What else? We're about ready to wrap up our show episode here. What else would you like to share with us that's on your heart right now?
Just again, really take time for yourself. Mm-hmm. Love yourself. Treat yourself like you would treat your best friend.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's
you are your best friend.
Yeah, that's the only way we're going to have that luscious, connective.
Because if you're giving to get, then you have an agenda. Then you're not really giving. The reward is to feel good or to look good. Look, When I give, and I'm a giver, I love to give. That's my reward. But make sure that's your only reward. Don't give with an agenda to get noticed or approved, because that's not clean either.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Just,
Love that.
you know, my last name is Hart. It's the perfect name for me.
It
Gets me
is.
into trouble. It gets me into trouble because I think about people continuously.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
But think about yourself, because the reason that we get sick is because we're not conscious of what we need. And you know, in December 25th, 1993, I stood up, my legs collapsed. I was in bed for a year. I ignored the aches and pains. My body said, okay, you're not going to take care of yourself. I'm going to make you take care of yourself. So little things along the way will remind you it's time for me. And that means proper nutrition, proper sleep, proper hydration. And yes, the right amount of sun. We need vitamin D. Our country is deprived of vitamin D because we're afraid. We either get too much sun or not enough sun.
Right. Right.
So, you know, really go inside and meditate and take time for you. And then, of course, get your feet on the ground and go grounding, and then be with animals, because that shows you what real love is. And you live with the deer outside your house.
Yeah, I do. And I'm in the woods all the time, hiking and walking and enjoying the mushrooms, the trees, the earth. Yeah.
And if you want to talk to me about any of the things that I've, you know, brought out, we can design a custom, quick program. I like to start people slowly, because if you do too much, you get overwhelmed, and then we could add things as you go along.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, wonderful. So take her up on her free consultation, and it'll be lovely. Thank you so much for joining us, Lori. It was lovely to have you here. As you know, you're my heart. And I miss you. I miss seeing you on a weekly basis.
Well, now that we know how to Zoom, we should do it more often.
Yes, I meant in your office.
Oh no, I miss you here too.
Beautifying me. But Lori and I, we also go out to dinner. We are great friends. So I'm really glad that you came on. I'm very honored. Thank you so much, honey.
And thank you for trusting me. When Mia first called me, I said, "Are you doing only Western, or are you open to alternatives?"
And I wasn't so open at the time, was I?
No.
Lori actually introduced me to Simone, who you saw as well.
And you, Donna.
And you, Donna, who you'll see also a little bit after Lori's. And it amazing changes. And as Simone said, I said to her, this is what I'm doing, and don't change my mind. But I did change my mind, and I'm really, really grateful that I did.
And I'm so grateful that you were open.
Yeah.
It starts with the mind and the heart.
It does. It does. I love you.
You remember those words?
Yes, yes.
What's in your highest good?
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this episode of Health and Beauty Hacks. And we'll see you in another one. Bye.